Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone. Does he race up the stairs? Oh, hey, taking a little break. This has been a hard week here at the ranch getting ready to pick those apples. I'm Mr. Dawson, and we're here at the ranch to learn some new things and discover new things, maybe play a game or two, so that we can learn how to read and write. Today is reading day. We're going to put everything together that we've learned this week and do some reading. I have some books over there that you ought to check out. I have a book that we're going to read today, but first, I want to discover our essential question. Our essential question is, let's play ball! And our question is, what rules do we follow in different places? You know, when you're at school, there's rules to follow. When you're at home, I bet your mom and dad have rules for you to follow. Wherever you are, there's always rules to follow. And we're going to talk about that today here at the ranch. Let's get started. I want to look at this book. This is our book for today. How do dinosaurs go to school? Now, when you look at a book, remember it has three parts that I like to look at. It has the front cover, it has the back cover, and then it has the spine that holds the book together. And then there's the title. The title is on the front and always is a clue about what the book is going to be about. How do dinosaurs go to school? Think about that. How do dinosaurs go to school? How does that relate to our essential question? Well, remember, it's talking about what rules do we follow in different places. So guess what? How do dinosaurs go to school? This might be a book about rules. When you listen to the book, see if it matches up to this. When we read books, remember that teachers love to ask lots of questions so that they find out whether you really did read and listen to the book. By the way, remember, there's two kinds of books. There's informational text that gives us information, and then there's story text. And the story text is a story, and it might be true and it may not be true, but it's a story that gives us a great time and carries us away to great places. Today, this is a story text. It's a storybook, but it's going to teach us some really cool things. So remember, as we're reading, or as you're listening to the story, remember, because when we come back, I am going to ask you some questions. I hope you enjoy How Do Dinosaurs Go to School? Take it away.
How Do Dinosaurs Go to School? By Jane Yolen and Mark Teague. How do dinosaurs go to school? How does a dinosaur go to school? Does he walk? Does he ride in a busy carpool? Does he drag his long tail? Is he late for the bus? Does he stomp all 4 feet? Does he make a big fuss? When he gets to the school, does he roughhouse and punch? Does he make a quick grab for a classmate's packed lunch? Does he race up the stairs right ahead of the bell? Does he interrupt class with his own show and tell? Does a dinosaur yell? And when in the classroom, plunked down in his chair, does a dinosaur fidget, his tail in the air? Does he growl during chalk talks or roar out of turn? Does he make it too hard for the others to learn? Does he stir up the classroom by making a noise? Does he tease all the girls? Does he pick on all the boys? No! A dinosaur carefully raises his hand. He helps out his classmates with projects they've planned. At recess, he plays with a number of friends and growls at the bullies till bullying ends. He tidies his desk, then he leaps out the door. Good work, little dinosaur.
Did you enjoy that book? Did you see how, even though it was a book about dinosaurs, it really was talking about what rules do we follow in different places? In this case, what rules do we follow at school? Okay, it's time for some comprehension questions. My first question is, for what is the dinosaur late? Let's take a look. Do you remember? Here's our clue on page 7. Let's look on page 7. It says, does he drag his long tail? Is he late for the bus? Well, yes, the bus. The bus. That would be the answer to the first question. Let's take a look at the next question. Do you remember what the dinosaur on page 20 was playing? What was he playing? Oh, let's take a look at page 20. I can go back there. It's always good to go back in a book to find out the information. One more page. Does he make it too hard for others to learn? Oh, what's he playing? Right, he's playing a drum. He's playing a drum. And then my last question is, do dinosaurs follow the rules at school? Did they follow the rules? Yes, in all those pages from 26 to 30, all those dinosaurs were following the rules. Do you know why? Because you have to have some rules to follow. That is tremendous. I have another book for us to read. This book has a title, and the title is, Can I Pat It? Here we go. Let's read our book. It says, I like to pat it. Remember, if you know these sight words, you're going to be able to read this book all by yourself. You won't need my help. Can I pat it? I like to pat it. What are they patting? Oh, yeah, a kitten. I like it. Look at all those sight words. Can I pat it? Yes. Let's see if there's one more page. That's it. We're done with that. Now look, if you know these sight words, have they here, like me, of, what, this, to, or? You can look. Remember how I was telling you, if you remember them in your brain, when you see them on the page, you'll be able to read it. Just like we've learned this one. What's that word? I. That's how reading works. Let's take a little bit closer of a look at one of the pages. Here it is. It says, I like to pat it. Do you see some sight words in there? Yes. Let's look at them. Here's one word, I. And here's one that we've had, like. So I can find like right here. Isn't that awesome? And one more, to. Do you see the to up there? See, if we know it, then we have it in our brain, when we see it in a book, we can read it. Isn't that awesome? I like to pat it. The next thing I want to talk about is when an author finishes their sentence, they have to let people know that I'm done with this sentence. I'm stopped and I'm going to talk about something else. You know what the author does, what a writer does? A writer puts this little dot at the very end, and that little dot says, stop, take a breath, I'm done with that thought. That has a name. That has a name when we're reading it. That's called a period. Can you say period? Yes, that is a punctuation mark that tells people, I'm done. I'm going to go on to my next one. And then the last thing I want to do with this is I want to count the words that are in this sentence. I, 1, like, 2, 2 is 3, Pat is 4, and it is 5. There's 5 words in this sentence. You know what that makes me think about? That makes me think we should do some writing. Let's do some writing. I want to write something here. If I have time, I might have to go fast, but I want to write a sentence, and the sentence I want to write is, they have a dog. Let's see how many words that is. They have a dog. I have 4 words. We're going to have to do 4 words on here. How do you spell they? Whoa, it's right here already. I don't even have to think about it. I just write it. And when I'm doing my writing, when it's the very first word of the sentence, it's always uppercase. Did you get that? So it's T, H, E, and Y. That's my first one. They have a dog. I have they. What's the next one? Have. So, oh, it's up here already. I can just spell it. I don't have to think about it. See that? Look how powerful knowing those sight words are. Have, H-A-V, and E. Then I have a. That's an easy one. We've had that sight word before. And then we have the word dog. Let's sound that out. D-og. D. Oh, that's for D. I studied that letter already. Ah is for O, and G is for G. I'm done. 4 words. I have them. And then, what did we just learn? At the end of a sentence, the author or the writer, when they're done, they put a punctuation mark that tells everybody, hey, stop, take a breath, I'm done. It's called a period. And I'm going to put that period right there. Whoa, we wrote something awesome. Let's read it together. You ready? They have a dog. Isn't that amazing? We wrote something today. You can write too. All you have to do is know those words and sound out things. Well, we had an amazing week this week. We learned some letters. We learned about isolating. Oh, we learned so many things. Wait a minute. Oh, yes, I have to tell you something really important. Would you please write to me right here at Valley PBS and tell me some of the things that you learned? The letters, the sight words. Tell me something about the book we read. There's all kinds of things you can do. Write about it and send it to me here at Valley PBS. I'd love to see them, love to read them. Well, that's all we have time for today. Have a great rest of the week. We'll see you next week right here at our Discovery Ranch. Bye. Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.